So this is Thriving Lessons with Dr. G. I gather here every week with my friends, learning about different resources, different things that can help us thrive. Why? Because I believe that a balanced, thriving life demands paying attention to several aspects of our lives. And it may not be perfect, but we are living the holistic life. So we pay attention to our emotional well being, our spiritual well being, occupational well being, physical well being, financial well being, intellectual well being, environmental well being, and social well being. And on different weeks, we speak about different things that are beneficial to our health and our well being. My friends, let's go straight into the conversation. We are looking at improving educational access or education access in Ghana's underserved communities. And my guest today, hey, hey.
Hi.
But give the wave, give the wave. Hey. Kendita, please. It's such a privilege to have you here. Okay. I'll go ahead and let you introduce yourself to the thriving generation, my dear.
Hi, everyone. Thank you all for joining. My name is Ken Dicta Aengsonga Ajeni. Okay. I know everyone I meet tries to pronounce the name Aengsonga. So it's Aengsonga,
Please,
literally
let's
means
practice. Let's practice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. A in song
Aengsonga.
nga.
Yes, Aengsonga. Yes.
A in
So
sunga.
Aengsonga. Yes. So that's the name.
Hey, I just graduated. Thank you very much. Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Sanctina is a northern name, precisely from
Okay.
the Upper East region.
Okay,
Literally
proceed.
means God has done something good, or you are good at what you do. So, Ken Dicta Ingsung Ajeni is my name. I am the founder and executive director for Ingsunga Hearts. I'm a humanitarian and aspiring social entrepreneur. As you can see in the photo, I am passionate about humanitarian stuff. I believe everybody has a purpose in life and has a purpose to fulfill in life that God has given to them. And I feel or I believe this is my calling to impact communities or to impact the underprivileged precisely in the educational sector. Why? Because I believe education is one of the ways we can reduce poverty in the world. So,
Hmm.
hence the name Aengsunga Hearts,
Hey,
lighten the world of little hearts. What are we
hey.
seeking to achieve? For me, I believe the heart is one of the most important parts of a human being. And so, whatever you do to somebody, you either touch the person's heart positively or negatively. So,
Hmm.
what is Aimsunga Heart seeking to do? We seek to lighten the world of little hearts. So, we are
Hmm.
touching hearts positively. That's why we have the name Aimsunga Heart. So, we are doing good, not to achieve anything, but to touch the hearts of people positively. Because I believe
Hmm.
once you touch the heart of somebody, even in the next 50 years, the person will remember the good you did for the person.
Hey.
So basically, that's why we have Aimsunga hats. That's why the name Aimsunga hats here. I know
So
I have a
tell
lot of.
me the meaning of I in song again.
So Aimsunga means God has done something good, or literally you are good at what you do, or you have
See.
done well. Yeah. So
You
yeah.
see why it's important to watch the name you give to your children.
Yes.
God
Very
has done
important.
something good,
Something
or you
good.
are
Yeah.
good at what you
At
do.
what you do.
And from
So
what
yeah.
I am seeing from the outside, you are good at what you do. And
Thank
definitely,
you.
God is doing something good in you. And I'm very interested in knowing your background. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up and how that had influenced where you are today.
Good. So I grew up in the Upper East region, Bolgatanga to be precise. I am the last baby of my parents.
Hey,
I am a
baby
daddy's
last.
girl.
Mhm.
So growing up, my dad was a teacher. So for
Okay.
me, I grew up in a home where everything I needed to do to achieve in life was tied to my education. Because I wake up
Okay.
in the morning and my dad is telling me, you know what, your books are your number one. Whatever
Mm.
you do, if you fail in your education, you failed in everything you literally want to do. Because the basics of whatever you want to achieve in life starts with basic education. So I
Yeah.
grew up with, you need to go to school, you need to study hard, you need to make sure you have good grades. So my dad was somebody who was always singing about this.
Mm.
And not just about that, he was a teacher and he taught a lot of people. So
Okay.
seeing him teaching a lot of people and helping the kids he was impacting was something I woke up experiencing every day. He's somebody who will not just teach you, but he's somebody who will help you in terms of your social life, in terms of
Mm.
counsel and all that. So I saw my dad impact a lot of people in different aspects. Now my dad is was like one of the kindest people I've met my whole life. I
Hey.
would see my dad give his last penny just to make sure somebody's okay or just to
Mm.
make sure a student goes to school. So I grew up seeing my dad invest in students, invest in
Mhm.
people, just because he knew, I mean, the greatest thing he could ever leave behind is making sure people are helped or people are better off than he had or he had when he was growing up. So I think my background actually molded me into the person that you see today because I grew up around a kind environment. So
Okay.
growing up, my dad used to tell me stories about walking barefooted to school,
Okay.
not having enough books and all that. Now he made sure I never had to experience whatever he experienced in life
Yeah.
to get to
Yeah.
where he was. So for
Yeah.
me, I had a very comfortable life. I was, yes, I somebody who say I was a pampered and disciplined baby. I
Okay.
had a very comfortable life. There was no day I woke up and I needed anything to go to
Okay.
school or anything that I missed out on. No. But growing up and getting to a stage, I realized everything my dad told me that he went through, I noticed it was still existing. It was still
Yeah.
happening. I still saw kids going to school, not wearing sandals. I still saw kids going to school, not having the necessary auxiliary needs that they are supposed to have. So I was
Yeah.
like, no, this cannot happen. That's why I started Ainsunga Hat. Because for me, I'm drawn to children. I love children very much. People will
Okay.
say children are my biggest weakness. If it has to be
Okay.
a child, I would go up, down just to make sure it works. Children
Mm.
just warm my heart. Children get me to the highest, to my peak, I mean, levels. Like, as a child, I'm excited
I
about it and to
see.
see how well the child does in life. And I believe children are the foundations of our generation or the foundations of our
Definitely.
future. So I said to myself, if I want to create impact in the world, where do I start from? I mean, I could meet an elderly person. I mean, even if the person has not made it in life, this is not the time for me to say I'm going to change the mind of the person because the person is matured enough.
Yeah.
But I know there's going to be a generation after me, after the
Yeah.
people I have seen. So where do I start from? I felt the right place to start from was to make sure the foundations of our next generation is secured enough. And that's why I said, you know what? I need these children to see that the world is a better place for them.
Yeah.
And I need them to understand that even the Bible says, Jesus said, let the children come. How much more we human beings? So I felt like,
Mm.
what? For me, let the children come. Whatever it would take for me in the right way to make sure they are comfortable, to make sure that they actually achieve their goals and dreams, I'm going to do it. And that's why I created Summer Hearts.
That's
Just so,
wonderful.
yes, just so I could meet their auxiliary needs in a sustainable way.
But that is amazing. That is amazing. So to get started, how did you? Because most of us have ideas of great things we want to do, right? I want to start this. I want to do this. I want to impact in this way. But maybe I don't have this much money or I don't know where to start or who to start. How did your journey actually start?
Okay. So I remember one day I was washing. I was washing in the house, and at the time, I was an intern with a company.
Okay.
And while I was washing, I think I was just praying, and then I asked God. I said, "Okay, it was almost my birthday.
Mm.
That's 25th January, and I said, what would the Lord want me to do this time around on my birthday?" And the idea of Angsuma Hats just dropped in my spirit.
Okay.
Now, I didn't have money to celebrate the birthday or to do something mega on that day.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something in me that just felt like, come what may, the most
Mm-hmm.
important thing is making sure that these kids are happy. Now
Mm.
you can have an idea. For me, I believe that if your idea is not bigger than you, or if it doesn't scare you, I think you should go back and ponder again and again. Why?
Mm.
Because we have a God who is the supreme being of the world. And
Mhm.
just imagine you thinking of something that you are assuming is big. And imagine God being the supreme being that says in the word that you are the apple of his eye, or that
Mhm.
says in the word that you are his child. How much more that idea that you have, which is little. So it's like you have the keys to unlocking that idea. All you need to
Mhm.
do is know your path.
Yeah.
You would have an idea like I had of starting an Summer Hat. I needed funds, of course, but I needed to look at the lowest hanging fruits to be able to start this idea. Where did I
Yeah.
start from? I started with my family and friends. Hey, I have this
Mm.
idea. Charlie, this is what I feel or believe that I want to do. This is what I think can change the next generation. This is my idea. You pitch your idea to your lowest
Friends
hanging
and
fruit,
family.
where you know that people would come on board and say, you know what, this is not big. This is something that I think that you can do. So I want to give you the support. I spoke to my sister, I spoke to my brother, I spoke to my friends, obviously, and they were excited about it. We have not even started it, but just telling them that I feel these kids need help and I feel I want to
Mhm.
do this. I feel this is what I want to do. They were excited about it. And they came on board. I remember my sister waking up very early in the morning to prepare jollof rice,
Hey.
to prepare sobolo drinks and all that, just for us to have a party with the kids on our first program, our first lunch. That was in 2020. I didn't have the money, but I made sure I made use of the resources that I had around me, my friends, my
Yeah.
family. And these resources now build up, and then you create a bigger social capital network. Now,
Yeah.
after the first project, my sister would post on her status, my friends posted on their status. We went on Facebook, Instagram, and all that. And it started growing. People started seeing what we're doing. And then we started attracting audience. So it doesn't matter how big the idea is, just start with what you have. Always look at the lowest hanging fruit that would manifest into what you are looking at. You don't need to have it perfect on the
Yeah.
go, or you don't
Mhm.
need to have it all figured out on the go. Even if you have that 10 cedis and you bought a bag of water and took it to the orphanage and sang praises and taught the children how to sing and even prayed with them, is enough for you to say, you know what, I have started something, and then you figure out the rest later. So basically, we didn't start like this. Like today, we've drilled boreholes all around.
Yeah.
We have furniture all around. We No, when we started, it was just something small. So I believe if you don't have the resources, start with your lowest hanging fruits. Who are the people around you that you feel like, you know what, if I should pitch this idea to this person, to my family. In fact, if you tell your brother to give you 10 cedis, Charlie, you want to go and use it to buy, even if he doesn't have, he'll say, oh, this is what I have. You can use this. You get it. That is what you have. Especially with your
I
family.
want to say yes, but you've not met some brothers yet. So you're from a kind
I
home.
know, I
But
know.
then the difference is that sometimes brother wouldn't mind you, but a friend would. There are friends who
Exactly,
stick closer than brothers and sisters. So
exactly,
don't lose
exactly,
hope if your immediate family will not support you. Others
exactly,
may. So just reach out.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, just reach out. Don't sit with the idea. Just reach out to whoever that you are drawn to say, you know what, this is the idea I have. I think this is the best way to go. I think, what do you think about it? And these people will even give you ideas as to how you can go about it and pull
Yeah.
strings. And before you realize, you're gone.
They're gone.
But
Hold
the
on.
most important thing is appreciating the process,
Yeah.
how slow you go, how fast you go, and making sure that you don't get overwhelmed. You start,
Yeah.
and there are sometimes you get stuck. You don't know where to go, you don't know how to go. But there's one thing that should always keep you going. The reason why you started
The
is that you
reason.
want to see change in these kids. So,
Mm,
with or without the resources, I will not leave the vision or the mission because I do not have what it takes to do it now. I'll keep pushing
mm.
till I get there. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Talk to us about the areas you work.
So we started with some projects in Accra, right? So when we started, people usually say, "Okay, do you only do your projects up north in the northern region?" No, We started in Accra. We visited a number of orphanages in Accra. We visited the Nungwa orphanage. We went to the Teshi orphanage. We visited Future Stars orphanage to donate certain things to them. Then we moved to the north because the northern part of Ghana is one of the poorest regions in Ghana. So I felt there was a need to also reach out to them. And should I say, fortunately or unfortunately, when I decided to reach out to the North, I realized that there was actually more work to do than we see. So I realized, okay, these kids are actually deprived of a lot of things that maybe some kids may have. So
Yeah.
I'm like, why not? Let's move to the North. When we get to the North, I realized no, some don't even have sandals, some don't even have
Mm-hmm.
potable water to drink, some don't even have
Yeah.
exercise, some don't even have bags. Some like it was pathetic. So I'm like, you know what? Let's start with a back to school project. We started with a back to school project, and that was and in the time of the COVID, yeah. Started with a back to school project, and it was amazing because help had come because these
Mm.
kids didn't have exercise books. Imagine that it was COVID, right? But they
Yeah.
didn't have any of the protocols in place. They didn't have
Yeah.
hand washing buckets. They didn't have sanitizer. In fact, none of the kids wore nose masks to school. When in
Wow.
Accra and other places in the world, like you have people wearing nose masks and I mean doubling it. They
Yeah.
didn't. They
Yeah.
didn't it felt like no, they didn't know what was happening because they can't even afford the nose mask. They can't even
Mm.
afford a 3 square meal. How much more a nose mask, really? So we provided all that with them. We sensitized them as to how they can use the hand wash
Yeah.
campaign. We gave them the nose mask. We gave them the exercise books, pens, pencils, and what have you. Then we realized that there was one thing missing. They didn't have water, and that's why they were not even practicing
Hey.
hand washing at the time during COVID. So they didn't have water. So what they do is they have a borehole which is quite a distance from them. So they spend like a long time going to just drink water and coming back to class. Some don't even come back to class. So here's what
Mm.
I did. I'm like, okay, I cannot give you water now because I don't have the money to drill a borehole for you. But what I can do is I'm going to get everybody in the school a water bottle. When you go to drink the water, make sure you come
Oh.
back to class. So I had to buy, I think it was over 700 water bottles, yeah, for every child in the school because then I did not
Oh.
want you to go to drink water with the excuse of going home because you feel like I'm tired. Why should I come back to class? Because
You
really,
know, that's a really, really good thing I've never thought about. I see people drill boreholes, they give them cups, and then it's right there.
yeah,
But come to think of it, if they have the water bottle, they can get the water, come back to class, or even take it to their homes. Who knows where they live and what they have? That was really smart.
yeah.
Did it just occur to you like that? Hey, let's get water bottle, or somebody was like, I don't know. How did you
It just occurs
get
to me.
that
So
idea?
because so yeah, so my mind is always on solution mode. Once I
Okay.
got there and I realized that okay, they don't have source of water. Now the
Okay.
teachers are complaining that these kids go to drink water and they don't come back to class. They
Okay.
just break and they go home. How can I solve the situation temporarily while I go look for money to see how I can drill a borehole for them? Then the idea dropped. Why don't you get them water bottles? The water bottle alone will excite them. Holding it alone is like joy for them. When they go to the borehole, initially they will use their palms to drink. Now, these are the same palms that they do not even get soap and water to wash.
Wash.
So, me
Yeah.
getting you a water bottle, one, I'm even helping you health wise because then you're
Yeah.
going to be drinking from the water bottle. So, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to just get some 50 water bottles and say I gave you water bottles. I want to be able to measure results. So, I'm going to give every child a water bottle and watch how the situation turns around while I find money to do the borehole.
Mm.
So everyone, including the teachers and
Okay.
everybody, had to own a water bottle. And it
Hey.
really helped because these teachers now
Yeah.
came back with feedback that, okay, the kids are coming back, to class. It's helping because then you don't have half of the school children going home when it's
Going
break time.
home.
Because, that's it. And to think of the fact that they have school feeding program happening there, right? So when they
Yeah.
cook for them and the kids are going to eat, some don't even wash their hands, right? And what if a child is eating and water chokes the child, right? So what happens? Okay. So the water bottle was like a step in the right direction. It has solved the problem by half, but we needed to get water for them. God being so good, when I got back, I spoke to some partners, and within I think 3 weeks, we
Mm-hmm.
got a partner in the US who was ready to drill a borehole for them because I had pitched the
Wow.
idea to one of my mentors. I was like, my children don't have water. I need water for them. He's like, oh, let me speak to some people and then we'll see how it can go.
Yeah. Yeah, hold on. About how much does it cost to drill a borehole?
So it will cost you about 25,000 cedis, 30,000
Mm.
cedis maximum to drill a borehole. Yeah, that's a hand
Not
pump borehole.
much. I mean, it's much.
Yeah,
But
it's
I
like,
mean, when I think in terms of government and politicians and some of the expenses, I'm thinking, how much would it cost for most of these communities? I mean, you talking about school feeding program. So
yeah,
they are giving food but no water.
yes,
And then interesting. Very, very, very interesting.
yeah,
And I want to ask you about the picture we are looking at.
sure.
I see you smiling in the middle, the kids around you. I'm sure they posed for the picture, but those without shoes, it's not like they left their shoes. I see some of them have their shoes by them. Is it normal for them to just sit on the floor like this without shoes on to study? I'm assuming the teacher stands in front of the class
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. So the picture you see here is basically that is what you see when you go on the grounds, right? It's not to pose for the camera for it to look like this is what it looks like. This is actually it. Now
Mm,
you have some of the kids not having sandals. Yes, you have kids coming to school without sandals. You have kids coming to school with their sandals worn out. So you see somebody even wearing a house dress
mm-hmm.
seated in the picture. It's
Yeah,
because she doesn't have a uniform. She can't afford it.
uniform.
Her parents cannot afford the uniform. And they sitting on the floor. That is how the classroom. That's it's like they don't have desk. So that is the current situation in the classroom. I mean, they're posing because yes, when they see new face, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
let's take a picture.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
excited about it. So let's take a picture.
Quiet and looking
Exactly.
also organized for the
Yes,
picture.
exactly. But this is
Oh,
the classroom
oh,
for them.
I mean,
This is how they
wow,
sit on the floor to study.
wow.
When it's exam, they lie on their bellies to write. Some
Mm,
sit is to write, yeah. So some, I mean, you lie on your belly to write your exam, yeah. So I mean, this is this current situation. How did this
mm.
come about? I was on Facebook one day, and then I saw one of my seniors back in SHS post a picture on Facebook, and she said that the class she teaches now, none of the kids have furniture. I was like, how?
How?
This
Yeah,
is this is unheard. Like I couldn't just wrap my head around it. Like in today's time, like
yeah.
how? So I gave
How?
her a call. I'm like, you know what? This situation, we need to change it. I
Yeah.
am going to ensure that your children have this to sit on. At the
Mm.
time I told her that, trust me, I didn't have money to buy even one desk. But I said to myself, yes, exactly. This is the picture. I didn't have money to buy one desk. But I told her, you know what? I would make sure these children sit on this in the next 2 to 3 months. And she,
Hey.
yes, I mean, maybe she would have believed that, oh, indeed, Ken has some money somewhere she's going to use to. I'm like, I did in my head, I'm like, this promise I have made, if you have faith like that of a mustard seed, right? That is what I told her when I started
Yeah.
paying. I'm like, we need to get this. I started calling my friends. I'm like, Charlie, this thing that we need to buy the furniture for the children. Literally everybody on my contact list, when they see my message, they know what is Ken going to talk about. Furniture. In my social
Oh
media
boy.
furniture. I would even be
Oh,
walking in town. Somebody will see me and say, hey, you work on the furniture. I'm like, yes.
yes. And then for maybe our international friends who don't know what
Yes.
this is what typically the kids will sit on to study.
Yeah.
And let
Yeah.
me see if I have any image of them. But about how much does it cost to get one of these?
So one of these would cost you about 300 cities, right?
Where is my phone? Let me see. Convert it and see. That
That
would
would be
be
like
about
$4. Yeah.
about how much?
$24.
24. Hey, your mind is also a calculator. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
So I started the furniture project, right? And God being so good, we're able to get the money to buy the furniture for them. We did not only buy the furniture for them, but we had to do a revamp of their classroom. We renovated their classroom. We painted their classroom, like you saw in the other photo. I mean, we gave the whole classroom a new look. It was the classroom was looking G, like yeah, you enter and you're like, yeah, right. This is a
I'm ready
classroom.
to learn. Yeah.
I mean the kids were, yeah, exactly. Before, when you entered into the class, no, this it was no, no, no. But after everything, we had to change our doors, and we were able to renovate like 4 classrooms in the school. And what
Wow.
did it take? It took social media, family, friends,
Wow.
everything just
Wow.
went like that.
Wow.
And that's why I always
Wow.
believe that when you have a vision and you just believe in God, that this is what God has asked you to do, and
Yeah.
you work hard towards it and you focus on it, come what
Yeah.
may, it always come through for you. Yeah. So when we
I
did the
love
first
that.
one, I realized that this was not the only school suffering. I then visited other schools in and out, and it was like, it's common entering classrooms and not seeing furniture. It was like, it was common. Just like in Accra, you turn here, you see churchill. That's how it is. Like you go to a school and then you find out that the whole school probably no child has a seat, and
Oh,
probably the
oh,
teacher is
oh,
sitting on
oh.
a block. He's going to take a block and then that's his seat. So I realized it was common. I'm like, what? This is it? Then no, we need to change the status quo. So I started the furniture project, and we had to go like that. We did the first, we did the second, and then we did the third, and now I think we are now on. Yes, we are now on the yes. So we have the F2D project exactly. So we are now on the F2D project. So far we have given about 300, right?
Oh
Yeah,
my
about
goodness.
300 dual desk across 5 schools. I'm not, yeah,
Hmm.
across 5 schools, yes. And then the F2D project, which we are currently running, we are looking at getting 300 more to give to 3 schools up north. They are currently also sitting on the floor, like you see in the picture. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, looking at the statistics, which tells us, or which tells me that about 2 million kids in the whole of Ghana
Hmm.
do not have furniture. So I'm like, okay,
Ah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So about 2 million kids as we speak now are in schools, but they don't have desks to sit on. And these are like auxiliary needs. These are like the first point of contact. Like these are like the basic things every child needs to even start, for you to tell the child that you know a steady hand. So I'm like,
Mhm.
if you have these numbers, then it
You
means
know,
there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah.
sometimes I don't, I mean, not sometimes, most of the time, I don't share my story on LinkedIn. Sometimes you see people are sharing, and when I was young, this happened and that happens. I see those, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't think anything I went through as a child is a big deal, in my opinion.
Mm,
Because when you see some of these things and you see some of the struggles that some
mm,
people have to go through on a
mm,
daily basis, me going to tech and gathering decks to look at lectures out of the window is not a big deal anymore.
mm,
I don't know if
mm.
you had that in Legon. Did you go to Legon?
Yes, yes. I attended
Yeah.
Lagos.
At Tech, some of the lecture halls were so small, but the students were so many that you don't get any seats to sit inside the class. So we will actually find a way to look through the window, listen to the lecture that we have paid for. It
Wow.
was just horrible, but or maybe being in Africa Hall, being on the eighth floor, the seventh floor, and having to go down to fetch water and climb. Those
Mhm,
those were experiences, but I mean, when you think about a child who sits on the floor to learn, a
yeah.
child who has to walk so far to get water, now it's no longer a big deal. It's like, okay, it was tough, but at least you had a place to sleep. You had I'm not covering up for, I mean, the things that the
Mhm,
administrators have to work out, because you don't take more students than you have to, but
yeah.
also the students need a place to go. I mean, it's a complicated issue, I get it, but sometimes I think it gives you a better perspective. It gives you a better
True.
perspective that,
You're
oh,
right.
you may have gone through whatever you went through, but There is always, always someone who is struggling much more than you are. And you are just grateful for the little, so-called little that you had. What do you think?
I couldn't agree more with what you said. You know, sometimes they say when you listen to another person's story, then it humbles you to tell yourself that you know what, you're not even struggling.
Yeah, yeah,
So I think, I mean, you're right about that. So I mean, and it just opens us to the fact that we need to appreciate and be content with our situations and
yeah.
only strive to become better, because we have
Hmm.
people going through worse situations than we are. So why give up because of your situation when there's
Yeah,
somebody who's actually praying to be in your situation?
yeah.
So, like what we are speaking on, say thriving, you just need to continue thriving. Just
Yep.
thrive.
Yep. Get off
Thrive.
the survival mood. I was there for such a long time. And I mean, I don't believe that God created us to come, walk through life, go to school, finish, and then you marry, you have children, you die, and then you go. I mean, it's
No.
way too boring. I think we had better plans for all of us, and
Yes.
in our own little ways, we can do something. And that is
Definitely.
why we started a thriving generation. Like, highlighting some of the things that people are doing, spotlighting wonderful people like you. And are you a millionaire now? Please let us know. Maybe now you have like cash flowing. Eh? Me, I like millionaire
I think
friends.
I'll
So
even take from everybody watching now, if they would want to donate like a desk, a dual desk, which goes for 300 cedis, I would appreciate it more than, I mean, I would jump right now. I would scream right now. You should see me
yeah,
when I see donations coming in. I'm like a baby. I'm like, this just happened. Like, really, like, I
yeah,
mean, it just gets me like, wow, like a child is getting off the floor. Like, it's such a big deal for me, you know? Like,
yeah.
I mean, for you to trust me with that amount of money, or for you to trust me with even one CD.
If you are on LinkedIn, if you are on any social media platform, in fact, if you're holding a phone right now and you have access to internet, you're able to buy a unit, you are better off. I
Yes.
think if you're able to hear us right now, you are doing well wherever you are, and be grateful. Thank God. Thank God. Thank your mother. Thank your father. Thank whoever helped you to get where you are. We all had support at one place. Some of us, it was our teachers. Some of us, it was whatever. Take a moment today and say thank you to someone, okay? It's a struggle when you don't see the support, when you don't see the love. And I'm grateful that Thriving Friends are willing to support you. One dex per child. And I'm sure when it gets to the school, two children will be sharing one dex. I
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
no doubt. I have
Yes.
no doubt
Even
that
sometimes
they'll be
you go and
sharing.
find three people sitting on it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, this has to change. I'm feeling like saying the politicians should do something, the government should do something. That's cool. We need them to do a lot more. We need them to wake up to this. But I mean, wherever we are, we can't let these children wait on them. We don't know when it will happen. So we can help. Thank you. Thank you for all you are doing. So, can you tell us a little bit again about how many decks you've given so far,
Okay.
and a little more about your immediate next steps and how we can jump in?
Sure. So far we've given about, so far we've impacted about 500 children right now.
Wow.
We are looking at
Wow.
giving about 600 more so that we can touch about
Okay.
1,000. Yeah.
Mm.
So because one dex is two, so basically when you give 100, you have two people sitting on it, so that's like 200
Okay.
children you're touching. Yes, just
Okay.
like we had one of our newest partners who came on board to help with the F2D project, Jucom, that has
Mm.
yes, Jucom in Germany, that's giving 100 dual desks, and that's like taking 200 children off the floor. And for that, I mean, we are grateful to Jucom because it came as like it was a surprise. We just launched the F2D project, and Jucom was our first partner from Germany. So far we are praying and hoping that we get more people to come on board, local, international.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you
Yeah.
are saying F to D, F to D? I know what that is, but do you want to say what F to D
Oh,
is?
yes. So F2D basically it's an abbreviation that is floor to desk. So
That's
moving the
it.
children from the floor to a comfortable desk. So
Yeah.
F to D, hence the name F to D. So yeah.
Yeah.
So basically
So
that's
from
F.
this to something like this.
Yes. Exactly.
Floor to
Yes.
decks. That's a
Awesome.
beautiful abbreviation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
grateful for what you do for our communities. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I love this picture and the smile. What was going on?
So this particular day was actually raining heavily. We were drilling a borehole and we had finished drilling the borehole and they were doing the concrete works.
Okay.
And then we were carrying mortar and all that, it started raining. And the rain was so heavy that we had to stop work and all run to the veranda. So when we got to the veranda, I started raising songs. So like for us to sing and jump and dance and all that. So someone took my iPad and my colleagues was with me and they said they should all say hip 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 hooray and then everybody just did this and then we're all just
Oh,
yeah. So I mean
that's
this
beautiful.
day we were all, it was raining, it was heavy. The rain was so heavy, but I mean, we created a memory out of it, and I was so happy when I go home. I was like, "This is what happened." I'm like, "Wow, yeah." So basically,
Yeah,
that's
beautiful.
yeah,
Beautiful. I see her give updates on everything that has been given to
yes,
her. She's very accountable. That is the
very,
only reason why I will share this on my platform. If she was going to buy Rolls Royce with it, I wouldn't share. Okay. You have a way of following up and making sure that your resources are well used. So
yeah,
please
sure,
don't hesitate to reach out if you want to support. And if you want to join her on the projects too, do you allow people to join you if they can't
sure,
give money but they have time to maybe
yeah,
go clean, maybe they are good with designs, they want to draw on the walls or they want to sew the uniforms or something?
yeah.
Do
Or
you
even
have room for
sandals. If you have kids sandals that you want to give out, if
that?
you have
Okay.
kids clothes that you want to give out to the children, if you have, I mean, if you want to sew uniforms for them, whatever that you think that you can do to improve the life of a kid, I mean, you're more than welcome. If you want to go with me to experience the life there and
Yeah.
appreciate even more, I mean, what we are doing. So over the weekend on Saturday, I met with one of my schoolmates and we were just discussing about the project. And so I mean, he was supposed to help me. We're doing some accounts of, I mean, the projects we're doing, closing out on some accounts for the previous project. And so after we had finished, because he's a chartered accountant, he saw what has been going on. He just
Hmm.
looked at me and said, Ken, like what you do is actually more than you make us see on social media. Like it's like
Yeah.
you do more, but like you're unable to. I'm like, yeah, you can't put everything out there because I
Yeah.
mean sometimes it's you just appreciate the moment. And he's like, Ken, immediately he donated one desk. He's like, where's my mumu? I'm giving one desk right now because he felt like,
And that's the Momo there, right? Is that
yes,
MTN?
yes, that's MTN.
Mm.
That's MTN. Yes, 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 yes. So if sometimes when you go and then you see what's on the ground, you appreciate it more. And then just like I take you along with me throughout the project, what we are doing on the ground till the project is over. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I owe everyone that accountability and even the kids. I mean that when they grow up and they come one day to see on social media, they would know that this is what someone sacrificed for them to have seats.
Yeah.
So that will be a motivation for them to continue. Yeah. So
I think a nice thing to do will also be, I in churches when people donate for something, something they write the people's names on it,
yeah, yeah,
donated by. Maybe people
yeah,
will love it if they see their family names on it or
yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. Oh, you do
Yeah,
that already?
yeah. So we pitch it to those who, I mean, want it done, but mostly people want to be anonymous. Like, oh no,
Yeah,
okay, that.
yeah, I can see that too.
I mean, once we have the next one, including partners, and once you donate to the organization, you automatically become a partner or a patron.
Yeah.
So, I mean, once it's there, you feel, I mean, belonged, or you want your name to be there. Why not? There's always something we can work around too.
Yeah, so I want to pitch to businesses and I mean small businesses, big businesses. If you want to sponsor maybe a whole class or half of the class, maybe you can do that and then they'll put your business name there, something to be proud of. You can also put it on your business platform. If it was America, there will be room for taxes, social things like that. But in Ghana, I don't think we necessarily cherish that it has to be an individual effort. But regardless, whether someone will see and clap for you or not, whether you're going to get anything back, just think about the children who are on the floor and consider their education. One of them may be a president someday, or the doctor who will take care of you, or maybe even the driver who will be driving you to and fro. So you never know who you are impacting.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
yeah.
Well, Ken, final words for the thriving generation. Anybody out there listening to you with big dreams but so overwhelmed by it, what do you say?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to thank Thriving Generations for the opportunity. I mean, I think this conversation it's been a heart-to-heart conversation, and I actually enjoy every, I mean, bit of it. To everyone who has joined and has contributed and has made this conversation more lively with your presence, I say thank you so much. You are deeply cherished by me. I mean, I don't take that for granted. To all those who have donated or supported our projects from day one till now, I mean, God richly bless you. God will continue to bless you. And to
Yeah.
all those who just came on board and are excited about the dream, the vision of Aengsunga Hats, we say God richly bless you, and we cannot wait to have you on board. We cannot wait for you to get excited about the kids getting better. I mean, we are grateful. We are grateful. And to anyone out there who has a big dream and not knowing what to do, or confused, or feeling that I don't think you are worth pursuing this dream, I want to tell you today that Insuna has started with just me sitting and washing my clothes,
Mm,
and we are here today. I don't know what you're doing now, but envision yourself being on a platform like this, sharing your journey
mm,
in a few weeks, a few months, a few years, because you never know. There's something. I mean, the spirit of alacrity. God can pick you today, and then tomorrow someone sees you and cannot even make you up. So see
yeah.
yourself as you achieving that, and most importantly, always put everything before God. I mean, He's the one who has seen us through every phase of our journey, and make sure He's the chief shepherd of every vision you are
Yeah.
taking. Then I'm sure definitely you would. So keep up the dreams, keep writing them. Please write down your dreams and pursue
Write
them.
that
It
down.
doesn't matter when you start, but please, whenever you start, be consistent. And I'm sure one day we'll all
Beautiful.
be on a platform and then share our story here. Thank you.
Beautiful. And definitely keep thriving. Today we said we are tired of being in the survival mode. So let's just jump off that mode. It's not a healthy place to be. Okay. We've struggled for a while in life. It's okay. Pick up yourself and keep on moving. So let's continue to thrive and thrive holistically. Bye.